Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, I should say. Let me get this going here. Just give everybody a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Welcome, everyone, to the PureEdge Training today. Obviously, I'm Kelly. I'm hosting it today. Just to start out real quick, let's start out with, if you do not have these phones, this is not a webinar for you. So if you don't have these phones, it's the left one here. This 400 one is your admin phone, and the 300 is the agent phones or a cordless phone. I don't have the picture of a cordless phone. I should get one. But if you don't have these two phones here, this webinar is not for you. You have a different phone system. Not every office has the PureEdge phone system. We are slowly but surely getting there. Yesterday, we added the Valparaiso office to our PureEdge, so you guys will be able to extension dial her starting now. So welcome, Valparaiso. Just to get a few things started today, we're going to talk about logging into PureEdge as an admin, cloud versus standard extensions, adding, removing an agent. We have some new information about standard settings that we'll give you, thanks to the Winfield office and helping and assisting with that. We'll talk about time frames. We'll talk about the auto attendant, ring groups, who to contact for phones, and if anyone has any questions, you can put them in the question area, and I will answer them at the end of the webinar. So I'm going to pop over here to PureEdge. So your username should be your email address. So today I'm going to use the admin Winfield email address, and let me get her password. Everyone, if you don't know your password, please send in a help desk ticket so we can get that password reset for you. I believe if you've never logged in, there's a default password that we can give you. So when you guys first log in, again, it's a new screen for those of you that's never logged in. You'll see your name up here. What we're going to want to do is go ahead and get out of the screen. We're not doing anything with this as of now. Maybe one day we'll use it, but as of right now, we're not going to use it. So then first thing you're going to want to do is come over to this little area over here where you see the 6 squares. Click over here and go into Account Manager. So we are now into the admin area of PureEdge. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go over to services. Really, the other settings you guys will never deal with. So you can kind of just ignore it. So the first thing you're going to do is jump over to services. So again, this is your services area. This is where everything we're gonna talk about, you'll be able to find in this area. And go ahead and close all these down. You'll notice over here that there is this recent items. Those are the extensions that you were just in. If you've never been in it, you'll have nothing here. but for easy to go back to an extension that maybe you're working on, you can plop over there and get to that extension. So the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between standard extensions and cloud extensions. So standard extensions are extensions that agents have that are tied to a phone. For instance, you have a standard extension because you have a phone on your desk. So your team leader probably has a standard extension, and then there's probably a couple agents in your office that have standard extensions, and then everyone else has cloud extensions. There's a big difference between the standard extensions and the cloud extensions in setting up. So we will go over that. But the main difference is cloud extensions, they have no phone. You dial their extension, it goes directly to their cell phone. And that's how you set it up. Everything rings right to their cell phone. They'll never get a voicemail on the system. All the calls that you transfer over to them will be transferred with the caller ID that you transferred, not with your number. So when someone calls in and it's Dr. Jones, let's say, that's calling in, and Dr. Jones calls in and asks for Agent A, you transfer over to Agent A and Dr. Jones's number comes up. This is convenient for a lot of agents because they can say, oh, can I call you back on this number? And the number is now on their cell phone. So it's a nice kind of feature, a pass-through feature for them. So let's go over and pop into extensions. So again, you're going to have your cloud extensions and your standard extensions. When you get a new agent, you're going to either decide if they're going to have a cloud extension or a standard extension. So again, if they don't have a phone, they'll have a cloud extension. If they have a phone in their office, they'll get a standard extension. Those standard extensions are already good. How you find the standard extension is go over to the phone and look at the phone, and that will show you the extension number. So that will be an easy way. If you need to add someone to a phone, you just look at that extension and you can see it. So we're going to first start out, actually I'm going to start out with cloud extensions. Let me go back here. Whoops, cloud extension. I'm using the Winfield office today. Again, they have, I believe, 54 agents in this office. So you're going to see a lot of, you'll see a lot of agents in here. You get the first 10. So right now you'll see that she has all of her extensions. All the people are forwarding to an outside number. We do have a mailbox here with this number associated with it, which is probably that at some point it was a standard extension and moved over to a cloud extension. But what you'll do is when you come in here, you're going to look and see if you have anything called agent. So up here, you can go up here and you can see that it has you can search up here for agents. So if I wanted to search for Rich, there he is right here. He's 1240. You dial 1240, it goes to his outside extension. But when I'm looking for new extensions, because I have a new agent, I'm going to come in here and dial and put in agent. So we've got agent 1243, which is perfect. So when you come in here, the first thing you're going to want to do is change the name to the new agent. So we can call her agent, we'll call her Debbie Jones. Oh, actually we have a new person. So her name is Natalie Harvey. And we're going to change this. We don't want to do the find me selection on this. Her, at some point, some other people were doing her her phone system, so we've worked really hard to try and get all her phone system corrected. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually change this to outside number, and she's going to grab their cell phone number for me, and this is all going to go to so the number is going to be 219-381-1817. So that's the first number. The next number, we're just going to go ahead and make this all outside numbers for them to call. So anything, it's out, they're away, they're not answering, they're not busy, it all just goes directly to their cell phone. You can just copy and paste these over. Outside number. Now, I want to share a couple things with you guys. As you can see, I'm putting in 219, the area code. Please make sure to put in the area code. Please don't put parentheses in there or any of the dashes. Just put in the number. It dials better this way. There's less complications. So this is what you're going to want to do when you have a new agent. So we're going to have Natalie Harvey, and she's now anytime someone calls her, that extension 1243, it's going to roll directly over to Natalie's number. The rest of these things you're just going to want to keep the same. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is click save. It takes a few minutes, so if you want to test it, what you should do is wait about 5 minutes before you test it, because it does take a few minutes for the system to add her and add all the call routing. So again, if you want to test it, wait like 5 minutes and then go ahead and dial 1243 and it would roll over to Natalie's number. As you can see here, we put her in there. She's got a cloud extension. Now, for new agents, what we need them to do is to record their name. So one of the things that I will send at this end of this webinar to everybody that is attending is the number for them to call in to record their name. They can also do that at any phone in the office, any PureEdge phone, but they can also dial the 608 number that I will give it to you guys for them to record their name. Now you're going to say, why do they need to record their name if they don't have voicemail? The reason why they need to record their name is because when someone calls after hours and does the company directory and they're dialing by last name, the system will try to say your name. So if you have a name like Kelly Kosmatka, when the system tries to say my name, it's awful. So when someone tries to call after hours and they try to do a dial by name and they do KOSM, my name will come up and you'll hear my voice say Kelly Kosmatka. So make sure that those new agents are recording their name. So when the company directory, it does have their name in there. Once they say, dial Natalie in the company directory, that phone will transfer to their cell phone. So that will be great for them. And again, it will come through as the number that's calling, not the person that is, it won't come through like as the main number that they called in. So that is how you add an agent. So to remove an agent is kind of the same thing. You're just going to go back in here, plop back in here. And I'm not going to remove Natalie's stuff. I'm not going to save it after I'm done so Deanna can keep this. But you would come in here and go agent. And then 1, 2, 4, 3. That just helps you guys keep a little bit of, little slow here. 1, 2, 4, 3. That just helps you guys with the extension number to help when you just visually look at it. And then what you're going to want to do here is this try first is you actually want to change that to your extension. So you want to go in here, pop in here, and pick your extension. I don't know what extension they are in here, but I bet it's in this area. Here we go. She's extension 1200. So just in case someone dials 1243, it rolls right over to you. So it's a good thing just to have. You want to make sure again to do that. Try that first, and then change all this also to your extension. So again, all those numbers, just in case someone for some reason has an extension. Agents never give out their extension number, but just in case someone misdials or whatever, at least it comes to somebody and doesn't go back to their cell phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click cancel here. Oh, I do want to actually show you guys something. Let's do this again, Natalie. So if you have the agent, and when you guys are training the agents on systems and whatever, if you do want to do this with them to have them record their name so you know it's done, is you can come in here into PureEdge, you can hit record your name, and as you can see, it has Deanna's extension here. What happens if I hit record, it will ring Deanna's phone. You pick up the phone and it will say, please record your name, and then you record your name, and then I think you hit the star or pound number, and then the name is recorded. So you can do it with the agent right here. So it's a good way to make sure that they get it done, and then it's done off your plate. You can check it off your checklist. It's done. They've got their name recorded. Everything is done. Another thing that I would like to show you guys real quick too is to show you that there is a record history here. So as you can see, I just did this update here. I modified it. So I want you guys to make sure that, you know, when you go in here and you see something funky, you're like, I don't think I did that, or whatever, you can always come in here into the recorded history. Everything in PureEdge has a history in it. So you can go in and look and see what was changed or what date it was changed, just in case you have a question or whatever that you need to have answered about that. All right, so let's go over, and I'm just going to hit cancel on this. So let's go over to your standard extensions. So one of the reasons I'm using Deanna's account today is because we have found a little bit of an issue with the phones and extensions and them calling to their cell phone. So most agents will have it set that, you know, you ring the phone, and then after, if it doesn't ring in so many pickups, then it should forward over to their cell phone. A lot of agents don't like the Find Me function, which I personally, I would have to agree with them. I don't like the Find Me function either. I will explain the Find Me function real quick. So let's say I call Kim Brown. It rings 4 times at her desk. She doesn't pick up. If I have the Find Me function set up, it will say press 1, and the system will try to find the person you're trying to get a hold of. A lot of agents don't like that because it will ring their cell phone. If the cell phone doesn't pick up, it rolls back over to their this standard account mailbox, and then they get the email with the voicemail. So they still get the voicemail, but the problem is that a lot of them just would rather have it on their cell phone, which we all get. So one of the things that we've noticed is the times that are set up for these. So I think right now, if most of you went back and looked at the seconds to ring, you would see it set to 80. We want to change this to 60. This is for, some people have said this, that when they ring, they do hit 1203 and they don't have the Find Me function. And if it's busy or not answered or offline, you have it going over to this outside number, the call just drops. It's very weird. It just drops the call. It has something to do with the timing and the seconds. So we've worked really hard in getting these seconds correct. So the first thing you want to do is check to see, and I would suggest this to everybody right now, is when you have some time, and I know everybody's really busy, but when you do have a little bit of downtime, go into these standard extensions and make sure these are set up correctly. So the first thing you want to do is do the seconds to ring, 60 seconds. The next thing you're going to want to do is when you scroll down here, you're going to have this first try the phone, ring time 25 seconds. This might be set to 25 right now. I can't remember if it's the top one or the bottom one that's the right one, but you just want to go in here and check it. So again, you're going to come up here, you're going to put in the name of the new agent, put in Kim Brown. Your outside caller ID should always be the office number. So when they pick up that phone, they're going to be calling from their caller ID to that person is going to come from the office number. Your E911 location, please do not change this unless it's wrong. The E911 location is for if they were at their phone and dialed 911, the emergency people see this location and will send the ambulance or firemen or whatever to this location. So if for some reason you have an agent that has moved into a new office, please let us know, because we'll assist in getting that standard location switched over, and we'll get that E911 set up. If you happen to see someone that's not, that's wrong, please just, send us a ticket in and we can help you guys with that. If for some reason, this occasionally does happen, that the agent wants to block their outside number, this happens because somebody's ignoring their calls or whatever. You can go in here, you can click block the caller ID for them, hit save, again, ask them wait 5 minutes, and then they can call out and the caller ID is blocked. We don't recommend you do this a lot, but there are certain circumstances that this has happened that we needed to block the caller ID. So you guys do have that option. You can go in there and change that for the agent. Again, so when we're going to set up for the outside dial after the phone rings, you want to put that call forwarding on as that outside number, the 219-730-4092. Notice no parentheses or dashes in there, and the area code is in there. Again, you'll try that first phone first. That 1203 rings 4 times. Kim doesn't pick up. Now it's going to transfer over to her cell phone. When they leave a voicemail, it will go to Kim's cell phone voicemail. I'll talk about this voicemail here, but you want to make sure too when you're setting this up that the voicemail mailbox matches the extension. If for some reason you come in here and you don't find the extension mailbox, let us know and we can get that extension that mailbox set back up for you. Again, same with the agents on here. So if an agent has a desk phone, please have them record their voicemail and their name. The reason why is this. If they're sitting at their desk, they get a call in and they go, they send it to voicemail, they decide not to answer it, then they'll get the phone voicemail. So that's something for them. They do need to have a recorded voicemail and a recorded their voice. So just so they know, make sure that they set up their name and their voicemail. And again, we can come in here and look at the history and see all the things that we've done with it. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of here. And I'm going to go to mailbox next. So the mailbox over here is for their voicemail. You drop this down. Ooh, drop it down. So here's a couple things for you guys to know. Broadcast, never, ever, ever, ever probably will we use it. And I say that like 99.9999% of the time we would never use this. The only reason we would ever use this is in an emergency situation. What it does is it sends a broadcast voicemail to everyone in the company about an emergency. So if there was an emergency, a national emergency, we might use it, but we probably wouldn't. So just so you guys know, that would be the only reason that would ever be used. You shouldn't play with it. You shouldn't use it. Just don't ignore it. Just act like it's not even there. So the thing you're going to want to look at is standard mailboxes. So again, here, we're just going to use Kim again as an example. So we have 1203. We're going to put the name for the name for her directory is going to be Kim Brown. Her password, all passwords, generic passwords are set up for their extension number for their voicemail. So if her voicemail password is 1203, unless she hasn't set that up. When you have a new agent, you should go back in there and set that generic password back up to that extension. So again, it should be 1203 or whatever the extension number is. That you can go in here and I can change it to 1203, again, 1203. Don't make it 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make it the extension. Then everybody knows that the default is the extension and it isn't confusing for anyone else. The next thing you're going to want to do is come down here and you want to make sure that her email notifications are set to yes. And then you're going to want to put where they want her, she wants her voicemail sent. So Kim asked that it be sent to her Gmail account, which she can have that set up that way. You do want to keep that yes to attach an audio file. So for those of you, obviously, all of you probably at your desk at one time or another has gotten a voicemail because all of you set up to have voicemail sent to your email. That voicemail will come through as a attachment of WAV file. You can listen to that WAV file on your phone. You can listen to it on your computer. So want to keep that, make sure to keep that at yes. If for some reason they want an SMS notification, you would need to know what their cell phone email provider text message is. So like you can see on this one, it was at tmobile.net. You can set it up that they get a text message too when they get a voicemail. 99.9999% of the agents do not do that, and it's just left at no. So that is fine. You want to keep all this stuff as it is, just keep it defaulted. Do not hide them from the company directory unless there's a reason. And if you have a reason, like an agent has a particular reason why they need to be hidden, please let us know. We can help you set that up so they're hidden from the company directory. Delete voicemails. You can have delete voicemails after it's emailed, after 1 day, 100 days, or you don't want to have it deleted. So just so you know, you guys can go in there and change that setting if you want. I would suggest, most people are pretty good about doing their voicemails, so they delete it right away. I can tell you this, I don't believe it really does delete after 180 days. I think they stay in there because I have messages in mine that I haven't deleted that are over 180 days. Another thing that you want to tell your agents that have those standard phones, that if you listen to your voicemail, and this is for you guys too, for you admins, if you listen to the voicemail on your email, it is not deleted from the system. You still have to go in there and delete it. So one thing, if you did want to do this after email, that it deleted it from the system, you could do that. If it's becoming a nuisance and the agent's like, why is my red button always blinking? So if you have someone like that, you can go ahead, you can change that to that. But forewarn them that it's only going to be as an email. If you delete the email and you lose it, it's on you. So just want to let you guys and really make sure that you're educating the agents on this as well. Again, you're going to come in here and you're going to click save and you'll be done. Pretty easy, pretty simple stuff. If you, for instance, again, if you have an agent that's leaving, same kind of thing, you're going to come in here. You're going to put in agent 1203. Then the next thing you'll need to do is come down here and change this email address to yourself. So again, if there's a voicemail that's left, it will at least come to you. And it doesn't go to them and their old email. Plus, it's just a nice way to keep things clean and up to date. So that pretty much covers your extensions and your mailboxes. Pretty simple stuff. I do want to point this out, is that if you need an extension, you will need to email PureEdge. I'll send out that information as well at the end of the webinar of the email address that you will need to ask for more extensions. So again, if you need a more cloud extension, you would email PureEdge. But if you needed another phone added to your office, you're gonna reach out to the help desk. We have been asked that if you guys have questions about the phones, please come to the help desk first, and then we can work with PureEdge for you. So just so they aren't bombarded with a bunch of different questions from us. So the next thing I'm going to talk about time frames next. I'm just going to leave it. So as you guys can see, I am logged in as the Winfield admin, and I have access to everybody's time frames. Please do not mess with other offices' time frames. You guys have access to it, but please don't, unless you're covering for that office. Then you can do it. You are more than welcome to do it. But if you aren't, just kind of leave it alone. If you do want to go and say, hey, I just want to see what another office, how they're set up, you can go in there and look at theirs and just make sure that you cancel out of it. You don't save or anything. So I'm going to go into the Winfield time frame. So a couple things, again, to remind everybody is that all the time frames are in Eastern time. It's great for our Michigan and Eastern Indiana and Florida office, not great for the rest of us. So just remember to think about it. The best thing to do is when you're doing your time zones and you're in the central time zone, write down the times on a piece of paper that you want the office phones to ring, and then put next to it what it would be in Eastern time. So again, if it's 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock Eastern. If you're ending at 5 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock Eastern. So it is a little different, and that actually gets a lot of people, is that these times here. So if you have questions about it, always email the help desk. We're always happy to help, but just so you guys know, you do have the 9, and it's also written up here. So they kind of highlighted it so everybody can see that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, so you're going to go into the time frame of your office. The first thing is during hours for calls. And we're going to go to the group, and we're going to go to Winfield. Now, I'll show you guys the ring group later. But if for some reason, and this would be the reason why you would go into somebody else's office, is that, let's say Deanna is going to be out for a week, but no one's going to be able to sit in Deanna's seat to help cover for her. And let's say the LaPorte office is going to answer phones for her. I can click this over to LaPorte. I can click save, and now when the calls come in for Winfield, they'll roll over to the LaPorte office. This is also a really, really awesome function for those of you that have internet outages. So if your office has gone down and Comcast says you're not coming up for 4 or 5 hours, you want someone to answer your phone, call your buddy. And obviously you can't call them on your desk phone, but call them on your cell phone and call your buddy office. Hopefully everybody kind of has a buddy office that you guys work with, and call them and say, hey, can you get in the time frames? Can you switch it over to you until our phone system comes up? When it comes up, I'll go back. I'll go in there and change it back. So this is a really good function for that. After hour calls should always go to that auto attendant and to your office. Again, if there's some reason you need to change this, probably should ask the help desk before you change this auto attendant here. We can set up, there are some different things that we can set up for the after hours. So please make sure that if you're going to do this, that you contact the help desk before changing anything in this area here. So I'm going to change this back to Winfield so we don't start sending all Deanna's calls to Haley. So most of you have a generic setup of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's when you're active. That's when the phones ring. As you can see in Winfield, they also have the phones ring from 12 to 5 on Saturdays and from 12 to 2 on Sundays. So some offices are open on Saturdays and Sundays. So you want to go ahead and go in here, because by default, they are checked as not active. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it would look like. So it would look like this. So most of your offices probably say something like this. It says, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I can not cancel out all this, so anything I save. So you're going to come in here, you're going to say, oh, okay. So I have 40 calls on Saturday and Sunday are just going to go right to the auto attendant. On Monday through Friday, the phones ring at my desk from 9 to 5, and then again, they don't ring on Saturday and Sunday. Again, if you want to bring those back, you click in here active, you go in here and change the time to when you want the phones to ring. And again, we can go in there and add this one back in here so that you change the times to when the phones are going to ring in the office. So again, if you have agents on call on Saturday and Sunday, then go ahead and come in here and change this. This setting should be discussed with your team leader. You shouldn't make this decision on your own. Your team leader really should. Some offices want their phones to actually ring until 6 o'clock at night. So they'll change this. Some want them to start ringing at 8 a.m. in the morning because they have a floor agent that's there at 8 and they have a floor agent there till 6. So some offices will change this. This should be discussed with your team leader if you're going to change this. Another thing is if you're out of the office a day, for instance, and you're not going to have someone cover your phones, you can make it inactive. So let's just say Deanna and their office has an office outing on this Thursday. So she can come in here and just say, because they don't want the phones to ring over, they just want it to go to auto attendant. She can take this as off as active, and it will just forward to auto attendant. The thing I will tell you guys, and this is what's always missed when admins do this, is to make sure the next day to go back and put it as active, because the next Thursday phone calls will go right to the auto attendant. We'll get a help desk ticket that say, my phones are going right to the auto attendant today. I don't know why. And I'll go in here and I'll look and I'll see that it's not active. So if you do this, make sure 99.9% of the time, you usually do have it rolled over to another office because it is important for those calls to be answered. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. So that's time frame. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is auto attendant, and then I'll do ring groups last. So auto attendant. We'll go into Winfield. So auto attendant should be something that you discuss with your team leader as how they want it to be set up. When you do the company directory, it's everybody that has a PureEdge phone. So everyone on this phone, your agents are in the company directory. So there are only 9 spots for auto attendant. If you want to set it up, if you had a smaller office, let's say you have an office of 8 agents, because there are some out there that have 8 agents, you could set this up that 1 through 9, you could set it up that you could record the voicemail that says, hi, you've reached Century 21 affiliated Winfield office. We're not here right now. To leave a message in our general mailbox, please press 0. To reach Debbie Cruz, please press 1. To reach Kim Brown, please press 2. You can do this with here, or another option is, which some offices are now doing, and again, this is up to your team leader, how they want to have it set up, is the first button is the team leader. So it would be, hi, you've reached Century 21 affiliated Winfield office. To leave a general voicemail, please press 0. To reach our managing broker, please press 1. To reach our agent on call, please press 2. To reach our company directory, please press the star button. If you want to do that agent on call, this is something that will become your responsibility every week then to change. So you could change it to, so-and-so's extension. So we could say, oh, we want to have, Kim Brown, which I believe was 1203. And I could say Kim Brown. Obviously we know that goes directly to her cell phone when that extension is dialed. So you go in here, you put the extension in there, and it will go to her after hours if they want to hit the agent on call. So again, this is something that you all should set up. You will need to talk to your team lead about it. A lot of the complaint is, and the reason why I've brought this up with you guys is because that company directory is everyone. So if you have a Smith in your office, might take a while to get to that person. So let's say their name is Zachary Smith. They're going to be probably one of the last Smiths on there. So they got to go through Ann Smith, Bill Smith, all through the alphabet till they get to their name. So that's one reason that we've given this option as to set the auto attendant this way. If you are going to do this, you are going to need to change your recording. Again, it's the same thing as I told you guys to record the name. You're going to go here. I'm going to click record. It will go on to, it will ring Deanna's phone. Deanna picks up the phone. It will say, to do your auto attendant recording, start now, and you will go ahead and record it. I think you, again, hit star or pound to end it. Then you want to listen to the call. Listen to your voice. If you want to listen to it, you can. If you don't, just hang up. Then you can also, if you do want to know what it sounds like right now, you can click the play button. Everyone has a generic one if you haven't set it up. There's a generic one that's already been set up for you. So if you've never done this and you're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before, just know that this has already been set up for you. There's already a generic one there. Again, if we would prefer that you don't change the star and the pound button. We would prefer that you guys keep this as company directory and voicemail. It's just easier that way, again, and every office is set up the same. We don't need to worry about it. That's pretty much it that you guys would do in the auto attendant. If you need any help with it, please let us know. But again, you know, this is another reason why you guys want to make sure those cloud extensions are set up, especially if you guys do agents on call. It's so much easier for you. You pop in here on Monday, you change it to the agent on call, and then you click save. Again, discuss this with your team leader before you go in there and change it. Some team leaders are very particular about how they want it, and some don't care at all. So again, it's up to you. I'm going to hit cancel out of here. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today is the ring groups. So ring groups are mostly what you guys are going to have is in here is, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit search again. So again, you guys have access to all these ring groups. Just keep with the ones that have to do with your office. You'll see some people have more than one ring group. So let me first explain the generic one that you all have. The generic one you all have in your office is going to be your office name. You're going to have simultaneously all these numbers ring when the front desk number rings. So all these people get the ring on their phone. So Winfield office is a unique office in the fact that they have 2 floors. So they have people upstairs and downstairs. So they have more people in their office that have things ring to them than maybe other offices. Usually most offices have like 2 or 3 in here. So most people will set it up that they'll have obviously your extension and then the floor person's phone. So if you have a cordless phone, the cordless phone might be in here, or if you have a place where the agents sit and they have a phone there, you'll have the phone ring here. So that's what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to have, you can have this, you're going to want to come in here and add the people that you want to your, to when the main phone number rings. So again, I call the main number here in Winfield, all these phones ring. You can also take out numbers. So let's say you're having a meeting for the office and you guys always meet in the conference room, and the conference room is the one or phone that doesn't ring. You can add it in during the meeting and then remove it. So just so you don't miss any calls. You can also add a external telephone number in here. Again, if it's something that, some offices don't have cordless phones. So if you don't have a cordless phone, but you're going to be outside doing the sign or anything outside, you could add your cell phone in here, just so you know you can't transfer. So I don't really recommend you do it, but some people, just because they're going to be outside changing the signs or whatever, they occasionally will go in here, pop in the cell phone number. You can also do this, for instance, again, if you have an outage, you're off, like for instance, when the PureEdge office moved, they didn't have basically phones for like a day. So we put in the admin's, we put in the admin's cell phone in here. So the phones would at least ring to her cell phone and she could pick it up. She could take a message and then pass the message along to the agent. So just remember, if you do put an external number in there, you can't transfer it. So again, I wouldn't do it as a recommendation. I would change in there the time frame and have it ring over to somebody else instead of having it ring over to your cell phone. Pretty simple things. So as you guys see, there's a lot of other ring groups in there. So a lot of offices have teams, and their teams might have 2 or 3 phones. So what they'll do is that when someone calls in for the team or calls in for somebody on the team, all the phones will ring in that team. You can set those up. If you do want to set up something like that, another ring group in your office, please contact us. We'll walk you through it. We'll get that set up for you. Sometimes it can get a little bit complicated because they want it set up a certain way. So just give us a call and let us know. Some of the things that those people would do is they do add that external number. So they'll have, you call, you're going to forward the phone over to, to whoever, and then and then they have an external number that is called too. So just so you guys know, that is something that is done on occasion. I can show you guys. Let's see. I think I got a Homewood. I think they have. Yeah, they have two in Homewood. So the second one is their teen. So, oh no, this is their regular one, but they do have one that's set up for a teen. So when you dial that extension, it goes to the teen. But again, if you guys are going to do that, please just let me know. Send in a help desk ticket. We'll help you get that set up if you need to have that happen. If there, let's see, that's about it for that. I'm going to check over here real quick, see if there's any questions. Yeah, so one of the questions is, can an agent pick up a phone from, if they're by a phone that it is not ringing? You can. You would hit *8, and then it would pick up the phone. So if the phone is ringing, it's *8. I'll send out that too in my follow-up to all of you, so you guys will know to know how to do that. Okay, so one of the questions is, my agent wants to know who called them, that I transferred them, and the caller didn't leave a voicemail. They want to know what the number of the caller was. So when you transfer a call over, that call doesn't come from you. Once you transfer a call on your phone, it drops your caller ID and sends their caller ID. It should. Okay. If it isn't, if that isn't happening with it, if that's not happening with it, then let me know and I will look at your phone system, because it should come through as the caller ID. So I will look, Karen, I will look at your phone system and see why that's not happening. And I will also look at Winfield's, because it should come through it should come through as the number that is transferred, not your number. So just so you guys know, if it's not happening, let me know. You can just send in a ticket and I'll assign it to myself for you. When do you create a new user? You create a new user every time you get a new agent. You get a new agent, you get a new person. I think maybe though what Terry is asking about is, you never create, okay, and there's some directions, there's old PureEdge directions out there for some reason, and I will make sure by the next Kathy's webinar, we have the updated PureEdge admin directions sent to you guys. You no longer create users. So it used to be that you would come in here, you come into settings, and you would create a user. You do not do that anymore. We found that agents aren't really using it. So we've just completely cut it out. So in here, you would come in here, manage users, and create new users. You don't do that anymore. All you're doing now is setting up their extensions in their mailboxes or their cloud accounts. So again, if you don't have any extensions available, you would go ahead in there and you would put in a ticket for new extensions. But if you needed a new phone number, or if you needed an actual phone, you would contact the help desk. But again, you don't put in that new user anymore. A couple of other things. Let's see. I'm going to jump back over to my sharing. Back over to here. So, whoops. So again, the website, and I'll send this again to you guys, is https://pureedgevoip.com. Your username is going to be your email. If you don't know your password, please contact the help desk, and we'll be able to help you. To order phone extensions, again, if this is for a cloud, and I'll put in their parentheses, or I'll put in cloud extensions, you go ahead and contact support at pureedgevoip.com, and they will give you a new cloud extension. If you need a new phone extension and a new phone, you're going to contact the help desk. And then all other questions, again, direct them to the help desk, and we can let you know, like, hey, this is something we'll have to contact PureEdge about, and we'll go ahead and contact them if there's any questions about that. This pretty much concludes the end of the webinar. Again, if you guys have any questions or, or noticed anything funky about it, please let me know. We're always available to help. For those of you that haven't spoken to Jessica yet, she is new in our team. She has a little bit of PureEdge training, so she might be able to help you out. And if she can't, she always will get it over to Carrie or myself to help you guys. But I hope you enjoyed the webinar and have a great rest of the afternoon. Thanks.